It's Friday night, and it's Friday night, and it's time to go live. Time to go live across the world for Hafeman Bros Talking Packers. 4-0 Packers, and they cannot lose this week. They will still be undefeated after this week. It's going to be amazing. Ben, no matter what happens, the Packers are going to be undefeated. I'm super excited about it. Here, I'm super excited about this too. Look, there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the world, but right now we're talking Packers, so that's all good stuff. And tonight, I'm telling you, this is what I'm drinking. Just vodka, so it's mixed up in the Line of Kugels glass. Just vodka from a local distiller, Yahara Bay Distillers. A very nice company, clean, nice product. Mixed with Robinade, the one and only
Old
Robinade.
school. That's
Old
old
school
school.
lemonade, all natural, premium, old school lemonade,
Oh,
signed by Robin
oh,
Yount. It says,
ah.
like the man, a natural classic. Robinade.
Wow.
In a
Where'd
store
you get
near
that
you.
from?
Pick and save.
Is it in a store near me?
Probably. Well,
I
in
don't think it's in a
Wisconsin.
store near me.
Maybe not you, but Wisconsin. Get yourself some Robinade, people. And mix it with
What about touchdowns?
just vodka
Touchdown squares.
from
You get any
Yahara Bay
touchdown squares?
Distillers. I don't know. Touchdown Squares? Who's that?
You have got Aaron Jones touchdown squares.
Oh,
It's
no, I haven't.
cereal taking over the world. You haven't seen those yet?
I haven't seen it yet. He's got a lot of touchdowns. Not this year, but he's going to have a bunch coming up. But there's going to
It's
be
not because they
receiving
don't play him.
touchdowns. Receiving touchdowns, Ben, because the Packers are going to throw to everybody this year. The backs, the tight ends. We get some exciting stuff to talk about. First, I got to get corrections. Corrections first before we jump into the show. Welcome into the show, Bernard. How you doing? Bernard, you are spot on, my friend. Tom Brady sucks. Yes. You are correct, Bernard. Very true. All right, to start though, here's what we got to do, guys. I got corrections. Okay, Ben. Sorry, I don't think I can see you. Go ahead again.
That's my audibles that I added to the Tom Brady video.
Okay. All right. Here's the corrections. I'm going to put us in split screen here. I gotta get back into the jumpy Zoom part and go to the gallery view. Okay, here we are. All right, I have a couple of corrections from Tuesday. I apologize. I was wrong on a couple of things. One is the linebacker that Robert Tonyan beat in man coverage, who was a high pick. He was technically a second round pick, and it was Deion Jones. I mistakenly called him Deion Lewis on Tuesday. Sorry about that. Deion Lewis is a running back for the Tennessee Titans. I got to make corrections. I'm a journalist. And also, I was also wrong. I thought all the debates were on Tuesdays, but no, the vice presidential debate was on a Wednesday. So sorry, our show wasn't exactly opposite it, but you still could rewatch it during that same time if you didn't want to watch the presidential, vice presidential debates. You can watch any of our shows while those debates are on, and it will be better for you. It'll be better for you. It'll be better for the world. So please watch Hafeman Bros Talking Packers instead of presidential or vice presidential debates. Thank you. And
I
subscribe
agree.
and like our channel. It just makes sense, people. It does. Ekis, Captain Coke for the next 5 minutes. Not sure after that. Oh, wow. Okay. Must be drinking fast tonight. Ekis is drinking a fast one.
Oh.
Whew. Ben, I'm excited to dig a little more into Robert Tonyan because he's awesome and we knew it already. But I have some. We're going to do some comparables. A couple things with some of the top tight ends, right, and top tight end prospects. And then the other part is I have a note about the Packers scouting staff, and I know you got some play breakdowns. And then we're putting it to people in the chat. Nate, hey, how you doing, man? What's up? Remember, we want some of your comments once we jump in and get past a couple of our things to find out what you guys want to talk about. Bernard, yes, Tom Brady sucks. We'll handle that right away. Tom Brady looked sad. He looked old. He looked pathetic. Oh, but wait, after last week's game, Tom Brady's the back. He's awesome. He's so good. Wait, no. Tom Brady is Tom Brady.
He's got every touchdown last week.
He's got every toy he could ever want being in Tampa Bay. He's got the jerky. He went from one coach to even jerkier coach. Actually, I like Bill Belichick. I watched it like
Yeah.
a Bill Belichick sound effects. He's kind of a unique guy. He just wants his guys to know what the heck they're doing. That's all he keeps saying
Yeah.
to him is like, do your job, do what you're supposed to do, and we'll win. Sound football, blah blah blah. But Bruce Arians, that guy's just a jerk. So Tom Brady and Bruce Arians, they
He is.
deserve each other. They deserve each other.
Yes.
Bruce Arians, remember as well, when the Packers' job was open, Bruce Arians, when asked about it, said how he wouldn't want that job.
Yep. I remember. It made me, because not only that, though, also after when Aaron Rodgers had his 2 Hail Marys in a row to Jeff Janis after that playoff game, Bruce Arians also discredited the Packers in that lucky bullcrap. Larry Fitzgerald, when Mike Daniels almost got there, but for some reason, stupid Palmer got away and then threw to Larry Fitzgerald and he ran for 70 yards and got tackled at the freaking 4-yard line. And then the very next play ran it in. After that game, Bruce Arians was just totally flippant about how good the Packers were and how, like it wasn't a big deal and blah, blah, blah. And those guys are good. And I mean, he's just a jerk. He's an old jerk who doesn't like to wear his mask or wears his, I don't know what his deal is. And apparently, like, I don't know, it's so dumb. All these coaches, that's another thing. You watch them on the sidelines, they wear their mask. And then whenever they talk, then they take their mask down and talk. Dummies. The point is to wear the mask when you talk so that you don't spread the stuff if you have it or don't get it if you know what I mean? I mean, hello? It isn't that hard to figure out. But all these coaches are doing it. Makes no sense. But whatever. Anyways, it was really funny. I don't know if you saw it.
There's no disputing that Bruce Arians is a jerk.
Did you see that after they showed something on, I was watching Florio and what's his face today? And they were showing
what
the
what we got some tough comments, so you better get through it because I gotta find out what's going on here.
Well, I know what he's talking about.
All right, what the hell? What is Bernard?
I'll tell you because I don't think
we talk about Nagler. Nagler is anti-Rodgers. He's always been anti-Rodgers because he loved Favre so much.
No,
Nagler's a jackwagon. Jackwagon.
He's not
wing nut.
You don't know what you didn't hear it.
I don't care. I don't like Nagler one bit. And you know what? He's also boring. And he's not that good. And then when he gets to ask questions at press conferences, they're not very good questions. Like, if we could get a press pass, can you imagine Hafeman Bros being planted in Packer postgame and weekly press conferences to ask questions? Are you kidding me? Can you imagine the types of questions that the Packers and their staff would be asked? Top-notch, insightful, deep questions. And, okay. Sorry.
It's interesting that you say that because that's what Nagler was complaining about with Rodgers. How it was after Rodgers said his thing about his average year for him is a career year for just about everybody else.
Which is true.
And then he also said, hey, I'm sick of effing report media and they just want to write stuff to get clicks and don't actually know what they're talking about football and blah, 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 stuff like that. And that's where Nagler went off and got mad to Rodgers saying, hey, you don't know what these guys do. They work hard. They do their stuff, blah, 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 all this kind of crap. And he went on and on. And he had a big rant for 20 minutes complaining to Rodgers. And he's saying, you saying that those guys, are just doing it for, clickbait and whatever is the same as somebody saying, criticizing your play when they never played the position. He's like, it's the same thing. So just shut up and don't say crap Aaron Rodgers about the media. Is what he did. That's what he said. He called out Rodgers or got mad at Rodgers or whatever it was.
Well, you know what we should say to Aaron Nagler? What credentials does he actually have to be doing what he's doing?
He was a reporter for something before he was on Cheesehead TV. Then he was a reporter for something.
I was something.
Press Gazette. Well. He was a reporter for Press Gazette. I think he was a Press Gazette.
Okay. Well, I worked at a TV station. I worked in sports radio. So why don't I get credentials to go talk to the Packers and whatever? Look, I'm just saying Nagler isn't like, he thinks he knows a hell of a lot more about football and all this stuff than he actually does. And then he always tries to like downplay Rodgers' accomplishments. He has his favorites that he pumps up and he does whatever. He's selectively critical. Let me just say that. Because like all last year, he's going on and on about let Gary develop, let blah blah blah, let all this happen, and let all these other guys and whatever, Savage and whatever. And I'm just like, no, they're playing like crap. You need to say they're playing like crap. You don't give them a pass. You don't give Aaron Rodgers a pass, you jerk. So whatever. Anyway, all right. What else we got here? Hang on. Do we think John Lovett is going to get some playing time? So, yeah. They're going to work everybody in. It's going to be, you're going to see Sternberger. You might see a little Tanyan in there in that role, but probably Sternberger and Lovett. And then they're going to do a bunch more Jones and Williams probably. But no AJ Dillon.
Yeah.
Which, hold on. One more thing, Ben, before we go any further.
Funny you should say that because in the same interview. Okay, well,
go ahead. You go ahead. I talked enough already.
No, my stupid internet is acting stupid, even though I moved upstairs now. So this is going to be an annoying show. I'm already annoyed.
I haven't seen you freeze. I haven't seen you freeze or anything. Seems okay.
I've seen you freeze 17 times. I'm not talking right now. You've been talking the whole time, and I've been freezing. You've been freezing over and over again. So I thought whatever you're gonna do.
I thought you were just listening intently. Damn.
No, I don't hear. I don't listen to anything you say.
All right, I want to give you the scoop on this one. I was watching a little bit of this, some after the Packers win and people talking about it and whatever. And it's all like the one show is with Nick Wright, and now Brandon Marshall's on there all the time. They got that Wiles guy and whatever. And they're talking about this stuff. And between Brandon Marshall, Brian Westbrook, and Wiles, they're trying to make the argument that the Packers were, by drafting, maybe the draft wasn't so bad because of look how the team looks. Look how they're playing. So maybe the fact that they wasted basically all of their picks this year to have zero contribution, they're trying to say that's not a bad thing. It's a terrible thing. Are you kidding me? If the Packers had any sort of contribution from a draft pick right now, I wouldn't be as worried about them playing teams that run the ball well or teams that might be like super explosive and might expose more of the secondary if given the chance. So, or maybe we could have had, I don't know, a little more depth on the O-line or whatever. Just give me something to work with here. But the Packers draft class is virtually non-existent, like we talked about before. And so it doesn't excuse that. It does not, just because the team is 4-0 and doing awesome, does not excuse the fact that Brian Gutekunst is one of the worst GMs in Packers history, probably the worst since Mike Sherman. And he totally botched this whole draft, and it's not going to help the team at all. And okay, maybe it's not going to hurt him this year, but down the road, you just wait. When you needed this year's draft class to start working into roles, okay, let's see where they are. Anyway, whatever. You should have got some contributions from some run stoppers, and they lost out on the snacks. Ben, they lost out on the snack sweepstakes.
Okay,
another.
I don't care. I don't care about that at all.
All right, go ahead.
It's interesting you say that because Nagler said another thing during Transplants this week, which is a show on Wednesday nights for those guys that you probably don't watch, which is where he had his rant. He also said when Goody is standing at the podium after the Super Bowl, holding up the Lombardi Trophy, nobody's going to care that he didn't draft a wide receiver or D tackle in the draft. That's what he said. That was his almost exact quote, not quite exact, but pretty close to what he said. And he was getting on guys about that. He was also getting on complaining about people who were having a problem with Aaron Jones not being in the game in almost the whole second quarter, saying that they're trying to keep him fresh so that he can come in the third quarter and then he's ready to go. And I say, for the 18,000th time, he doesn't have to get the ball, but he has to be in the game. They've said it multiple times. We want our best 11 guys in the game. So then why is Aaron Jones on the sideline? And I don't want to hear that they're trying to save him for later. That's bullcrap. When he's out there, the defense has to worry about him because he can take it the distance and make a huge play. And the other thing is you don't have to give it to him every time. Be cool. Be smart. And so he's saying that all the fans that complaining about Aaron Jones not being in the game, they're all dumb. And they don't know what they're doing. They don't understand football. I understand football. What would happen if what do you think would be a good idea? What do you think? Who do you think is probably okay? Let's say Aaron Rodgers number 1, right, on the offense. Number 2, okay, we'll say it's Bakhtiari. Even though to be honest, his run blocking is suspect in this last game. Because I looked at it, it was pretty bad.
He's solid.
Anyways, he was pretty bad. Anyways, but third important guy, Aaron Jones. I'm pretty sure, I would think at this point, especially with Devontae out, right? So if you look at the defense, you're thinking Kenny Clark would be number 1. Za'Darius would be number 2, right? Jair would be probably number 3. He'd be like the Aaron Jones, we'll say, or even number 2. But how about this? Let's take Jair out in the whole second quarter, except for one play, because we're saving him for the third quarter so he can be ready to really dominate in the second quarter. Let's do that. That's what you just said. Let's take our second, third best player on the offense out of the game to save him for later. No. You don't have to give him the ball to get hammered. You have to have him out there to be part of the unit so that the defense thinks something's going to happen with Aaron Jones. Because let's face it, Jamal Williams, the good example is, I don't have the video of it, but those two outside receptions that both Jamal Williams had and Aaron Jones had, right? It was the same play pretty much, okay? One time it was Jamal Williams on the outside and Aaron Jones in the backfield. Then he came out and ran up the middle in the slant. And then Jamal Williams went deep. And the deep safety was more worried about Aaron Jones. So he stayed more toward the middle. So Jamal Williams had a chance to get a deeper pass, okay? The second time, Aaron Jones is led at wide receiver. Jamal Williams is in the backfield. Pretty much the same thing, except Jamal Williams doesn't do it up seam. He does an out route. The safety cheats over to Aaron Jones, and the window was way shorter. Aaron Jones catches it and gets hammered right away. And why? Because the safety cheated over there. Because he's more worried about Aaron Jones taking the ball all the way than he is about Jamal Williams if he should somehow get a pass thrown to him to take it all the way. And that just explains to you why Aaron Jones should be in the freaking game. He doesn't have to get the ball, but he's there to make sure other guys can get the ball and do things with it, and then he won't take a hit. But he's out there because he's important. And that's football. That's understanding football. I didn't want to turn this into a yelling about Aaron Nagler segment. Those are all things that he said this week that I was just like, listen, dude, and I like Aaron Nagler. You don't like him. I like him. But I'm like, dude, use your head. You wouldn't take Jair Alexander out in the whole second quarter to give him a rest so he's better in the third quarter, would you? No. It's the same thing. Even if he was getting tired, even Kenny Clark, who would be a defensive tackle, so you don't want to have him out there all the time because he's getting beat up or whatever, right? You don't take him out for the entire second quarter except for 2 plays. No. It's just dumb. And I don't want to get into that anymore. Okay, back to you.
All right, I was just going to say I was laughing because this show has not gone any way the way I thought it was going to at all. And I didn't mean to look, I don't mean to hammer on these other people with the stuff they say, but what this is it's proof that there are a whole lot of people that spout off about this stuff that have platforms to talk about it that don't know what the hell they're talking about, which is even more reason why you should tell people you know to come here because we know what we're talking about. Like, I don't understand.
Listen, we're wrong sometimes too. We're wrong sometimes.
I know we're wrong sometimes, but I'm telling you, like, it's the same sort of thing. Here's what happens. People they're victims of the moment. You know, they get caught up in the flashy plays and all that sort of stuff. That's how Za'Darius Smith gets named Defensive Player of the Week in a week where he played not a great game, but had 3 sacks, which I already told you on Tuesday, 2 of them really meant nothing. But
there's so many plays.
He had 3 for the game, but he had a lot of plays up. Now, LaFleur said or indicated that he had, some things he's dealing with. So maybe he's a little banged up or has some injuries that are slowing him down. Okay, whatever. Fine. Uh, and that can change the way you play. I totally understand. If that's the case, okay. But then he should be subbed out more. You know, he should be getting more time off the field if he's laboring through some things that are bothering him. What
I'm
I'm
going to show
telling
you.
you,
Okay,
what I'm
yeah, go ahead.
what we've been saying is the effort has not been there from Za'Darius this year. Look, if he came in last year and looked like a lazy player on a bunch of plays, then that's what we'd expect him to still be this year. But he didn't do that. He came in last year and he was he was a very good player, but he was also a high energy and high effort player, which made him a great player last year. This year, he is not a great player. He should not have been named NFC player, defensive player of the week. But the fact of the matter is, for sacks, you get recognition. For interceptions as a cornerback, you get recognition. Look, here's the perfect case in point of why grading that way just doesn't make sense. Jair Alexander, okay? The guy has hardly any interceptions in his career, but he plays cornerback about as good as anybody. He is at that level now. He's a good tackler. He's sticks with his guy. He's good at zone. He's good at press man. He's good at breaking on the ball. He's physical enough. He's fast enough. He does all these things right. He has a lot of plays where he doesn't let guys be open. He makes tackles right away. And he also has a lot of plays where he'll just shut the guy down. Like in case in point, Kelvin Ridley had nothing against him the whole game. But he doesn't have many interceptions. So league wide, he's not, he might not even make the Pro Bowl this year. But if you look consistently against people that analyze all this stuff, he's like the highest graded cornerback in the league. So I want guys like that. I don't care if you get 3 sacks in a game and then do nothing like on 80% of the plays. I want you to do your job on the high majority of the plays. Then you're my kind of player. So that's all I got.
I got something to say about Za'Darius Smith.
Okay.
And I just figured it out. I figured out who he is. I figured it out. He's a charismatic guy, right? He's a great captain, leader of the team. He can get the guys going. He's a fan favorite, right? He makes splash plays. He like goes crazy and makes things happen. And then he'll do a boneheaded, roughing the passer or miss the tackle or, not seal the edge on a 4th and 2 or something like that, right? But then he'll go and make a sack or he'll go and break up a pass. He is, are you ready for this? He's Brett Favre. He is Brett Favre on defense.
Come on.
He's the Brett Favre of defense. What does Brett Favre do? Brett Favre, super charismatic, super fan favorite, gets everybody pumped up on the team, right? Everybody believes when he's out there, right? He's the captain of the team, right? He throws lasers for touchdowns, right? He runs around like a crazy guy and does crazy stuff and throws a touchdown. And then he goes and runs like a crazy guy and throws a pick at the end of the game and loses it in the playoffs. Or he fumbles. Or he throws a pick over here. Or he does dumb stuff. Am I right?
Ow. Ugh,
Za'Darius Smith is the Brett Favre of this Packer team. That's what he is. He's a splash-making playmaker who also makes dumb things, does dumb things too. But fans don't see the dumb as much as they see the good. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy or a bad player for that matter. To be honest, there's a couple plays that I have on my breakdowns where he makes good plays. He does great stuff. He holds his guy, and so that somebody else can make a play. But there's other times where he doesn't hold his edge and he tries to do too much, and he puts the defense at a disadvantage because he leaves a big hole for something bad to happen. And that's just the kind of stuff you see with him. And as long as your offense is scoring 38 points a game, highest scoring offense in the league, which is what our team is right now, then it's okay for your top defensive guy to make some splash plays and make some mistakes every now and again too. But if the Packers somehow aren't able to score in a game or can't seal the edge on running plays, you get 49ers 2 games last year. You get the Chargers game last year. You get games where things aren't going right because guys aren't doing their assignments, and then and then the offense can't get rolling, and next thing you know, you're blown out. And then everybody's like, what happened? What happened? Well, what happened was guys aren't doing their assignments and you're getting ran all over. But I just realized it the other day. I was sitting at home and I was like, sitting here and I was watching the game tape from Game Pass. Here's my plug for Game Pass. We don't get any money from this, but I'm telling you, Game Pass is the greatest thing, the greatest $100 I ever spent in my whole life. I'm just telling you right now. Amazing. Ooh. I spend more hours on Game Pass. That paid for itself 3 times over. And I've only had it for 3 weeks or whatever. But anyways, I'm watching the plays and I'm like, dang, that was a great play by Z. Awesome. And then I was like, what the crap is he doing? It just makes no sense. Back to you.
Exactly. Basically,
Nate makes a lot of sense.
I know,
against the Rams.
What does he say?
Did in the playoff game.
Where's he at? Did I miss it?
He says fire throw.
Oh yeah, we know it. We know it. That was a painful one.
Should have had 10 according to Mark Tauscher.
Mark Tauscher, his former teammate. Okay, so look, we don't want to sit here and hammer on Za'Darius. It's just that when a guy gets recognized like that, we got to again. That's what happens, and you guys know it. You guys know enough to know it too. A bunch of the people, and this is why going to watch, those national shows talk about the Packers in their segment versus like us talk about the Packers. We're just Packers. Like, yeah, we watch other football, but we watch the whole game. We watch every play. Those guys watch the highlights or whatever was cut up for them to watch, or they're watching all the games. They got to know all the stuff. And granted, that's going to spread your attention really thin, and you got a lot to bottle up there. So you're not going to get, so what they're going to do is they're going to see those big plays by Za'Darius. They're like, oh, the defense played great. Za'Darius Smith had a monster game. No, come on.
Defense did play great.
We're giving it to you straight here. Okay. Yes. And we talked about it on Tuesday. Reserve guys stepped in. I was impressed with the reserve corners that came in and played some roles. I was impressed with the defensive line in this game. I was happy. I was very pleased about that. And there's another guy I'm really impressed with, but do you want to do play breakdown before we go to Robert Tanya?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking defense, and both of my play breakdowns are defense.
All right, let's do it. Ben's play breakdown. Jordan Love is our quarterback. No.
All right. Is it showing?
Yep.
All right. Let's see if
Jordan. Most likely, Jordan Love will never be the Packers quarterback. Most likely. Just a heads up.
All right. So this play, this is going to be all of the 3 and outs. Or we could break it up if you want, but there's 3 and outs that were in the first half. Okay. So this is like the first possession of the Rams or the Falcons. What am I talking Rams? We just talked about the Rams. Sorry about that. Anyways, first possession of the Falcons. On this play, I just had an arrow pointing, showing some stuff. But if you look at my cursor here, that's Za'Darius Smith. This is a tight end, 88. Okay, this is a running play. He just blows the snot out of him and shoves him out of the play. It's not even, he doesn't do jack squat. But the Packers do a good job inside. And there's a certain player that I want to highlight. There's a couple things in my breakdowns that you're going to watch and be like, dang, I did not know that guy was that good. So hang on. We're going to watch what happens here. Look at that. Now, it's a 4-yard gain, but I'm going to show you something that's going to just blow your mind in a second. Okay. On this particular play, you've got Barnes here. Okay. This is Amos over here. Kevin King is on this side. Za'Darius is here. This run is going to be over to this side. All these guys are going to pull. Fullback's going to go out and block somebody. There's going to be a wall that's going to seal all this off, and none of these guys can get there. And that's why it could have gone for way more than it did. I circle here, Kingsley Keke, and I'm going to tell you, watching the game tape, he had some killer plays in this game. Killer plays. That's why when you said snacks ain't coming, I don't know. I was impressed with some Tyler Lancaster, some Dean Lowry, and some Kingsley Keke in this game, just so you know. He gets triple teamed on this play. No, double team. These 2 guys here go to him. And so Za'Darius should be opened up because he's got just his tight end to block him. He gets his butt kicked. Keke sheds the double team, gets through, and makes a tackle. And it's awesome. This is the first play of the game. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. So this wide receiver is going to come in motion also, and he's going to get a block. This left guard or right guard is going to come in, and he's going to pull and get a block. And then the fullback's going to come and get a block. So all these guys, 1, 2, 3, are going to be over here where there's no Packers. It's just Amos up here and King is off the screen. So if that's 3 blockers and only 2 guys, and Barnes has got to shift through this mess, try to get over there. And Z gets pushed back, so there's no chance. So if Kingsley Kiki doesn't destroy his guys and get through, that could be a huge run. And watch what he does on this play. He shoves this guy over with his arm. He does like a Reggie White. Just shoved him over. It was just amazingly awesome. He had him going one way, arm shove. Okay, that wasn't a double team one. Later on, he does a double team one. But that was just as good. With that arm shove, was that awesome or what?
Impressive. Yeah, because Barnes, 2 guys, like you said, 2 guys went at Barnes right there. So he was in trouble.
Now this is second down. This is a play where Tyler Lancaster makes a tackle and does a great job. But the first, on the wide shot, I want you to watch Za'Darius on this play. This is the same guy, 88 tight end. Gets in Za'Darius' face, shoves him back again, beats him up. And then Za'Darius gets kind of chippy with him after, and should have been a penalty called on him because he shoves him after the play's done, and they don't call it, which is showing his frustration that he got beat twice by a tight end. So watch that for now, and then when I show the other angle, you'll see Tyler Lancaster's play. So watch Z against a tight end, kicks his butt, then Z starts shoving him. Now maybe he said something nice there the last time because he clapped him on the hand. So it could have been, but he got beat. Okay, so this play, everybody's blocked one-on-one. This tight end goes one-on-one. These 2 guys are going to double team Lancaster. Lancaster's going to split the double team, make the tackle, and then get up and smack his chest like he's a man. It's awesome. Watch it. He's super sweet. I mean, he's just holding his ground against 2 guys to make that tackle. Plus, Jair Alexander came in from the outside and helped him out, which is awesome to see. A guy coming in from the outside and making the play.
Right, because if you're a corner and you've already diagnosed that it's a running play, nobody's blocking you, like you should come in there and help make sure that guy doesn't sneak out and get out of that bunch in the middle there. That's a great play.
Well, you got to be careful, look out for play action, because there's on that long drive, which I also have the video for, that 20-play drive. I don't have every play, but I have some of the key ones. There's a couple times where the Packers they bid into play action and got beat on a couple things.
Yeah, I get it.
Now, this is the third down play. If you look here, we got a deep zone in the back with Amos, I think. Yeah, that's Amos there. Then we got man coverage here all across the board. Boom, boom, boom. Now this is Barnes on the outside. It must be a running back out of the backfield here. Hill, I think. You got 2 corners here. We got Shannon Sullivan and Kevin King. Over here, you got another man coverage. And then up here is Ridley. And I don't know if this is a zone or what this is exactly. It looks like it's a 2 high zone, or like a high and a low zone on Ridley here between Jair Alexander and Savage. But this is the play where Jair kind of sits here and there's the pump fake and then it goes over the top and then Savage goes and breaks it up. So I just wanted to circle and show the play gets broken up like way over here. And Savage is able to read it and he just turns his body and flies back there to break up the play. Because Jair, I don't know if his responsibility is to look out for like an in route or what. Like it's almost like they're double teaming him, which is cool. That's a smart move. The guy's got over 100 yards in every game, so it's a good move to do. So watch those 2 guys and watch Savage take off and make the play. And then that's 3 and out right there.
Oh, yeah.
Jair is flat-footed. This could have been a huge play. Mm-hmm. And it's a little underthrown, but, Savage makes the play and gets all the way back there. And that's the first 3 and out. It was awesome. And the Packers got the ball right away, and then they went down and scored a touchdown, and it was sweet. And this is just another angle of it, but you don't really have to worry about it. There's the pressure doesn't get there,
Well, watch the
got
throw.
All day to sit in the pocket.
Yeah, watch the throw by Ryan too, because it just hangs up there.
It hangs up there a little bit, yeah. But it's just enough where he gets over there to break something up, make a play, and whatever else. So I don't know if you want to do the next 3 and out or just talk some more and we'll come back to it, or what do you want to do? Because there's 2 more 3 and outs here.
We're 3-0. Let's check the chat real quick because I can't see it right now. So let's see what we got. Let's stop our share and check the chat.
Okay.
We're getting to some Bob Tanyan love, some serious Bob Tanyan love in a little
Yeah.
bit once we get through this, these play breakdowns and all that stuff. Man, I'm telling you, Bob Tanyan, damn. I mean, he's not great at doing interviews yet, but everything else about him is great. Everything else. And I got some really interesting things. Oh, one other thing I will say is I like this about, I'm going to give Matt LaFleur some credit because Matt LaFleur was also being like us and not messing around with Zadarius Smith because he challenged him. He said, "You got to pick it up. You're the captain of this defense." Zadarius Smith said something about that in his post-game interview, and then LaFleur was asked about Zadarius's comments, and he kind of, said that, well, yeah, we needed him to be the captain of the defense and play with, his full effort and all this sort of stuff. But what was interesting with that, and this is another inkling, how you can tell that even though Zadarius had the three sacks, Matt LaFleur was not necessarily pleased with the majority of his game performance. Because if you go back and watch when they ask him about, oh, well, Zadarius said you kind of got into him about that or challenged him, you challenged him to be better and blah, blah, blah. Matt LaFleur's, in his answer to that, he seemed very uncomfortable in the way he was talking and answering that question.
Well, he probably just didn't want it out there.
Well, and it's, yes, that too, but it's also like, because it was also kind of a leading question. Well, then he went out and had 3 sacks and had all this great game. And Matt LaFleur's like, yeah, he did, so he's kind of like, yes, he gave him credit for the 3 sacks, but he's also like, there's something more behind that. You can feel it with the way he answers it. And it's very similar to last year. A lot of last year when LaFleur was asked about how Rodgers was playing, he did that same sort of thing. Like he was crediting Rodgers, but there was always kind of this little uneasiness with the way he was answering. This year, when he's asked about the way Rodgers is playing right now, there's none of that. I'm just telling you, you can read a little bit behind the way he's answering things, and
which is the reason why I told you I believe that he was part of the Jordan Love pick. Because last season he was not happy with Rodgers' decision making and his play.
You said he just wasn't happy. This year, he wasn't cutting the ball loose all the time when he should.
Right. Yeah. He didn't run the play. That was called. He was too afraid to throw it in there on a tight, maybe it's a little tighter than he wanted to. But also Rodgers had, what has he got? Geronimo and Jimmy Graham in there. So he's like, I'm not throwing those 2 idiots. So that's the other problem is if you're going to want the guy to run the offense right, put the best guys on the dang team on the field. Oh, yeah, Aaron Jones goes right back to it again. Gosh, dang it. I just can't, whatever. Okay.
And Robert Tanyan, who's got the best hands on the team, no doubt. All right. What else you got for plays? We got nothing on the chat. People either left or they're giving us nothing. When was the last time we had
Jones or defense or something?
Well, I'm not seeing anything new. Am I behind here? What happened? I'm going to go back and check. I should probably refresh.
Whatever. I'm screen sharing. Too late now.
All right. Share it up. Bear it up.
All right, here we go. Here's the second 3 and out. Boom. Let's see what we got here. This is after the Packers scored a touchdown. Aaron Jones. What I like to do is to get the circles going. Oh, that's the punt. Forget it.
How do you draw all those circles? All these things were coming through at me. I don't know what the heck happened. My thing froze in the chat. Okay.
It's probably because I was sharing this video and maybe it died.
All right. Rick likes that. Oh, yep. Can do a film on Jordan Love. No highlights.
Yeah.
Low light. Oh,
that's not nice. He's not that bad, but he's not going to play for the Packers hopefully forever. Okay,
no, he won't. He won't ever play.
So on this first down play, this is why I show this play because I'm kind of like, what the Uncle Jack is going on here?
All right, let's see it.
We got 2 receivers over on this side of the field.
Wait, hold on. Did you answer my question? I asked you a question that I didn't listen.
How
do you draw the little things on here? What do you do? Do you have a special pen? Or is it
it's something. I don't know. I just do it. Whatever.
Oh,
it's on the thing.
All right.
But I gotta use all these different colors and make it colorful.
I know.
The green. You have to use a different green because it kind of blends in with the field, but whatever. So here we got a cover 4 or zone or I don't know what's going on with this because these 2 guys with the linebackers both come. This is a base defense, by the way, which is crazy. The Packers hardly ever play a base defense, but they got 2 middle linebackers. We got Summers and Barnes. You got the 2 Smiths on the outside, and you got our best defensive lineman up here through the middle with Lowry Lancaster at nose guard, Kiki over here, and then you got Jair, King, 2 safeties here. So it's a zone. And here's the other thing that's weird is you got Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, 2 of the best receivers in the league, and all you got is Kevin King and Savage over here. I'm a little scared with this kind of coverage. I'm a little scared. On this play, these guys do a comeback, deep comeback. This guy does a deep comeback. These guys all go toward the quarterback. And this guy's supposed to block Z. And I think on this play, Z gets some pretty good pressure and makes it up. And that was on first down. Oh, yeah. See, both Z and Kiki got in there. And then it was an errant throw by Matt Ryan. But what I want you to do is watch Kiki on this play. Woo-hoo-hoo. He is amazing on this play. All right.
I hate it. Can I just say something before we go forward? I hate it when the offensive team is actually set and they're still running around and like not even lined up. It drives me crazy.
I know. These 2 guys switched. The Smiths both switched.
I know. They used to do that all the time under Dom, and now they're back to doing it again. I'm like, why? Just like they don't even look. I mean, if the other team was ready to go and just snap the ball, they'd have like 10-yard run right up the middle half the time. I'm glad they don't. But
the one good thing about it on this play is our defensive line have all 3 of our defensive linemen in there to make sure, like, to hold the fort kind of thing. So on this play, Darius is here. He's going to do like a loop out or a quick out step and then beat this tackle to the inside. Okay. The fullback's going to come through and run right past him. Like he could have blocked him, but he just ran right past him and went up to try to get Summers. But Kiki is the guy you want to watch. And I think I have another arrow showing what he does in a second here. Yeah. So this guy goes to try to take him. Kiki just beats him, comes straight through, gets past the guard and past the back who got the play action fake, gets past both of those guys, and he gets pressure at Ryan at the same time Z comes in, and then Ryan just has to throw it away. So it's a great first down play. Great job by Kiki. He's also getting hands to the face. Look at that. Hands to the face on Kiki. He still fights through it. I mean, he just is killing dudes in the first couple series of the game. And that was a huge, huge, awesome play by both Z and by Kiki. Getting awesome pressure from the same side of the field. So that's killer. Now we got second down.
Hold on. I'm just going to
go ahead. I'm just going to pause it when I get to the arrows.
That's 2 games in a row now that Kiki has come out really strong right away. Like out of the gates, he's making impactful plays in the game. And we talked about that in the first 2 weeks, how the defense started so slow. But these last 2 games, I almost feel like that's a big difference right away early on in the game because that gets other guys going too, like other defensive linemen, Zadarius, whatever. Like, hey, man, Kiki's doing all this stuff. We better start doing some stuff, So that's super important. He's been – I'm envisioning it now when Kenny Clark gets back and he can be used in – multiple different ways, but kind of never on the nose, but kind of like that guy that's on the guard sometimes or sometimes splitting the guard tackle gap and can penetrate. Like, I really like what Kiki's showing. So I'm excited about him, and I'm really excited about the way Lancaster and Lowry played in this game too. So I think I'm feeling better about our defensive line, especially when Clark gets back, but I would really have still loved to have seen some way to, add some depth there through the draft, but that didn't happen. Are we going to make the best? I know I accidentally moved it because I tapped it. We're going to make the best out of what we got here with these guys. The Just Vodka is starting to take just effect as well.
Okay. All right. Don't slur your speech too much. This is a good 4-yard gain tackle by Barnes. You're going to see on the play here where he sheds the block, the center or somebody tries to go up and make a play on him and he can't get to him. And Barnes just gets around him and it's a good play. All right. So here you go. You got here, I think this is Dean Lowry, if I'm not mistaken. These guys double team Dean Lowry for a second, or that could be Kiki. I don't know. I think it's Lowry. And then this guard moves up to Barnes, or tries to get to Barnes. He goes around to get in the way. Lancaster holds his own against these two. This guy comes around. This 77 is going to come around and try to pick up on this side and take on Lowry. So Lowry's taking on 3 guys on this play. And then you're going to see somebody shoot in from out of here. It must be Kevin King, I think. And Barnes is the guy who's going to make the tackle. But really, it's these 2 guys holding their own is what allows Barnes to get free to make the tackle, which is what the 3-4 defense is supposed to do. So watch that all happen. It's pretty awesome. It's sound defense, everybody doing their job, and they get a stop. I mean, it's a 4-yard game, but it's a great play. So you see that move right there. I mean, look at that. Whew, Lowry just beat that. These two guys try to make a move on him. He just flies over this way. And now Lancaster's got like a triple team on him, which is crazy. But look at all these guys here, and only one Lancaster. You got Lowry coming free, and Barnes is free to get the running back and figure out whichever hole he's going to, Barnes is going to be able to get there.
Well, that's a good move on the pull. Wow, that was well played by Lowry.
Lowry, yeah, I'm telling you, the defensive line had a game. I think like awesome game.
I
Like
told you, felt a lot better about how they played, but this is really interesting because you do not see in the NFL, you don't see this amount of pulling and all that stuff that we're seeing. The Atlanta Falcons do a lot of pulling. Apparently, watching the game, it's hard to see all that, but like that's a really difficult play, especially when you're Lowry and you kind of sneak around that first guy that might have slowed you up just a touch, and then was going to let you go because the pulling guy was supposed to kick you out, but Lowry fought that off, was prepared, and he learned from last year. So I like to see that a lot. That's nice.
Yeah, last year he wasn't looking, and he'd get cracked back by a tight end and get knocked out of the play. Like that's what happened against the Eagles. This year he's doing much better. And like I said, Kiki Lancaster on that play took on 3-4 dudes and held the zone so that other guys can make the play. Like that's an unsung hero on that play. Nice. Barnes was free. I mean, yeah, he got kind of blocked at the end, but he shut off that guy a little bit and made the tackle. This is the deep pass to Ridley that was overthrown where Jair stuck with him. So on this play, Ridley's down here. He just goes straight down the seam. Jair sticks with him. And the best part is Jair stays on the inside of him between the receiver and the quarterback because he knows he's got no help. The reason why is this guy here, I don't know if it's tight end. I think it's tight end. He comes through. And when he comes across doing this deep crossing route, Savage jumps on it because he must have to in the zone that he's in. He has to look out for this deep crossing route because I come from watching this. It looks like these two guys here are double teaming Julio Jones on the top. And then this guy, look, he comes in motion this way, but then he comes back again to this spot to try to trick these guys, trick Sullivan into thinking something else is going on. So Sullivan has got to stick with this guy because he's playing man. So it's almost weird. It seems like it's man over here and zone over here, which is kind of cool. But when you watch this guy's going to come back. Sullivan's going to have to go with him here. This tight end's going to go deep. Savage has got to come through. And Ryan sees it, and he throws a deep pass. And because Jair is playing inside positioning, that pass has to go really far, and it's a little bit too far. And it's all just sound defense. Really smart playing by all these guys, sticking with their assignments. And that's just one of those things. Like Aaron Rodgers, that probably would have been a perfect pass. It would have been, and then he goes up looking for a flag, of course. But Jair didn't touch him. He just stayed on his inside hip and stayed with him the whole time. And there wasn't much pressure on this particular play, but there's not much you can do there. He had a pretty clean pocket, which sucked. But luckily, Jair stayed with him and got there right. And he waited and looked for the ball. As soon as the ball got there, boom. So go ahead.
I was going to say real time. I thought maybe he got there early, but then when they showed the slow motion replay of that, you saw that he did not actually make contact until the ball was there. So it was well played.
So this is the next 3 and out that the Packers had.
Even though
after the big long drive.
Pause it here.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll pause it when I get to the arrows.
Your John Money, you mentioned the thing on Tuesday about watching Big Daddy and and then you got Jair wearing the sunglasses, which makes him feel more comfortable. So like Julian and Big Daddy, how he can speak to people a little more comfortably. He's still not great in his interviews. He did like a Good Morning Football interview with his sunglasses on. Rough. It was still pretty uncomfortable, although he was more comfortable, but he didn't give them a lot to go on. Like they didn't know where to go next after he finished talking. They're like, okay, I guess we're going to talk about this now. But anyway, it also got me thinking, Ben, about other Adam Sandler movies that made me cry. And again, I will tell and profess to everyone, if you really want to cry during an Adam Sandler movie, you should watch the movie Click again, because that movie made me weep openly 2 times, not just once. Like Big Daddy, Makes you cry once when Julian's walking away and he says, "But I wipe my own ass. I wipe
Yeah, that's
my
a good
own
line.
ass."
That's
And
a great
Adam
line.
Sandler's like, "I know." Right? When that happens, you want to cry. But in Click, I cried twice. So if you didn't cry during Click, you're heartless. Go back and watch it again. Okay, continue with the Packer talk.
All right, so this is the last. This is after the big long drive, and this is just a run play. You look here. You got Lancaster takes on the double team, does a good job. Lowry takes on his guy, shields him off. It allows Raven Green and Barnes to just get to the running back. He has got nowhere to go. They plug both of these holes, and it's perfect defense. Guys doing their assignments, making things happen. And there's a big hole there, but Raven Green is there, and he's worried about it. Takes him out. I mean, that's what this is supposed to do. And the defensive line is showing. Oh, that wasn't Lancaster. That was Wynn. That's even better. Another guy who came in to help out, and he's been playing great too.
He did. He was impressive. I was impressed by him. And I'll tell you what, the seventh round pick. Okay, sorry, I got to apologize. The Packers are getting something out of their draft. The seventh
Garvin.
round pick, Garvin, is actually playing some time now with the Gary injury, and he's doing okay. So they're getting some. He's doing all right.
Yeah. All right. So on this play, they're playing a cover two zone on the bottom, and then these two deep safeties, and they played it a lot in this game, and they usually got beat on it. Julio comes across in this pattern here. Both of these guys are designed to take these two out of the play, but because Jair has got an outside coverage, and he's a smart guy, and he attacks, as soon as Julio catches this pass, Jair is there to shut it down, and it works perfectly against this assignment. And so you just watch here. You're going to watch Julio come across, go over here. Jair's going to go into this zone and then just jump up and make sure he pushes him out of bounds. Simple defense, smart move. Everybody's doing their assignment. Jair's looking both ways. Gets up there, makes a play, shoves him out of bounds. Though Julio Jones is not moving that fast. I don't know what's up with that. I know he didn't play much of the second half. I don't know if he got hurt or what happened, but
He had.
I mean,
I think
that
he
wasn't
had.
just slow motion. He looked slow in slow motion, but he was slow in real motion.
No, he's had. He came into the game with a hamstring injury and then aggravated it, and so again, it's a good illustration point to everyone to why, even though Devontae Adams was mad he didn't get to play, like, dude, if it's a hamstring or a groin, you rest it. You rest it like a week or two past when you think you're ready to go, just to make sure that thing's not going to flare up and be a lingering injury the whole season. Because at wide receiver, if you got a muscle injury that's going to slow you down, you're no good. You're no good to the team.
That's true. All right, so on this play, I'm just showing you what the route combination is
I thought
and
you
what
had
kind of
like,
cut.
hey, I thought you had like two plays. How many plays are we doing here?
This is the last one. This is third
Oh,
down.
all right. Last
This
one.
is the last 3 and out of the first half. I didn't count the last one where Z got the sack on the end because it was like 18 seconds, and I don't care.
I got
I'm just
lots of
showing you.
Bob. I got lots of Bob, Tanya, and Love to get to here.
That's next. Okay, calm down. Hang on.
All right.
Listen, man, I'm loving this. I can't help it. I probably spent more hours. I don't play Madden anymore. It makes me sad. I don't play Madden because now all I'm doing is looking at tape.
That's
Anyways,
good for you.
this is they're now okay. So the last play they played a cover 2 zone, right? This next play they play man, straight up man with the deep safety Savage and saving everybody if something goes wrong. Okay, and because of it, they also get pressure on the quarterback really fast, and everybody's covered right away. So Ryan has to hang on to the ball, and next thing you know, this is the Raven Green sack, which is awesome. So if you look at the combination of routes, this guy's going across over here, and you can watch Kevin King's going to go right with him all the way across. You got man here, you got man here on this route, you got man here on this route, and all these are designed to get somebody open over on this side. And it's 3rd and 4. All they need is 4 yards. All they got to do is get to the 35. But they can't even do that because the guys do such a good job on man coverage, straight up man in your face coverage. And then when it comes to the blitz, I think I've got that in the next thing here. I'll show you on the other screen. And you'll see there's Raven Green coming out of nowhere to make the tackle. Much better blitzer than Amos and Redmond. I mean, that's why Raven Green should be in there. He's really good at that blitz type stuff. So here's what happens around the line of scrimmage. This running back's going to come in and try to help out, chip in here. you're going to see right here, this guy's going to jump out and go in to the outside. That's Raven Green. So he looks like he's going to play like a zone. Looks like he's going to jump back and not blitz, but he does blitz. Same thing's going to happen with Barnes. Barnes is going to sit here. He looks like he's going to just come back into the zone, but then he comes straight for the quarterback. And he's actually the one that makes Ryan have to go out of the pocket because this running back is not able to stop Barnes on his blitz. These other guys all kind of hold their own. This is Garvin on the outside. Z is here. I think this might be Kiki or Win or somebody, and then Preston's on this side. But really the key is Barnes here with his blitz up the middle, and then over here, Raven Green cleaning up the mess. And then all those guys, like I said, all those guys playing man coverage in the back end really saved them. So Ryan had nowhere to go with the ball. So you see Barnes look like he's not coming. Then all of a sudden he comes straight up the middle. Ryan's got to go, and all of a sudden, Raven Green's not a tall guy. He's kind of hiding behind the other guy, and then Ryan looks up. Oh, crap. Boom, sacked. Perfect. That's the end of that. Back to you, brother.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
That's what I'm saying. 3 awesome 3-and-outs on the defense in the first half, where the defensive line were like pretty much the main contributors to all those plays, whether it was a run play or pass plays. Those guys all did a great job. And so I'm getting higher up on the defense. I'm getting a little bit more psyched on the defense if they can play together as a unit like that, where everybody's doing their thing and we don't have one guy who's trying to do some crazy stuff. They do a good job when they do that.
All right. I love it. There's a couple things to catch up on in the chat.
These guys are going off, huh?
There's some good stuff. Well, they're having a little back and forth, and that's fine. All right, here's what we got. We're talking about Jordan Love. Nate keeps wanting to bring up Jordan Love. Okay. Goody's terrible, Rick. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see. What do you say? Y'all gave Jordan Love a chance. If Jordan Love pans out. Okay. Yes, Jordan Love might be okay. It's just that he's not going to be good and utilized in the opportune time, which is the early years of a quarterback's career, like that first contract out of the draft. That's why it didn't make any sense, Nate. Like Jordan Love, maybe he turns into a good quarterback. I don't know. Maybe. And the Packers, you're right. They have a track record of developing quarterbacks, okay? But they've also hit on the right type of quarterbacks, okay? Like there's two things there. They've developed quarterbacks. There's been plenty of quarterbacks that have been in the Packers team that haven't been turned out to be very good, okay? Do you want me to bring some up? What's his name? Graham Harrell.
Matt Flynn.
Brian Brom. Okay. Anyway, there's other ones.
I forgot his name. Oh my God. Who's the terrible guy? Hundley. Brett Hundley.
Oh,
he was really good.
Yep. So anyway, the point being here, just to
they haven't had a good backup since Hasselbeck.
Just to get back at that. No, Tim Boyle's a good Tim Boyle's a good backup.
Tim Boyle's, yeah. Okay. He's good.
Tim Boyle's a good backup.
He never played a game. We haven't seen him in a game. How do we know?
Tim Boyle's a good backup, dude.
How do we know?
He's got the skills. He's got the size. He's good. Arm strength. Right. Apparently he throws it farther than Rodgers. He's awesome. Anyway, the point is, the big point about Jordan Love, and we've said this before, Nate, I think you're new to the channel. What we said when they drafted Jordan Love is what the Packers are saying here is that they don't believe there's going to be another good quarterback prospect anywhere in the next 3 years, which makes zero sense because you have no idea what the quarterback prospects are going to be like in the next 3 years coming out of college. So to make the pick now, when Rodgers is still where he's at in his career and the contract that he still had 4 years of under contract, Aaron Rodgers, it made zero sense because the teams that generally have an advantage to win the Super Bowl are the teams that are on quarterbacks on rookie contracts, a la Pat Mahomes last year, a la Russell Wilson when the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. That's when you want it because you have a cheap quarterback that you don't have to pay yet, and then you can spend money on the rest of your team to make it that much better. So those things have all been proven. That's why we were so upset about the Jordan Love pick. On top of the Packers had glaring needs at run defenders that they needed help with. They really needed depth at the offensive line, inside linebacker, all that stuff. They didn't address it. Those were the reasons, Nate. Okay. Let's see. What do we got? Brian Hoyer. Well, how are we talking about Brian Hoyer, Eric? Come on now. I think you mean Boyle. Anyway, Goody's draft strategy is terrible. He's been terrible almost every draft. Like I said, his first draft, his best draft pick was the long snapper in the 7th round. And
Jair Alexander, ding dong in the first round.
Was that his first? Okay.
Yes.
Jair Alexander, his only pick. Here's the one point I want to make about Packers drafting. Whomever is in charge, whoever is the scout or the person or whatever that identifies these guys that are undrafted that the Packers then sign and then get into camp, that person or those people, they could have co-GMs, I don't care. Those people should be the GMs of the team. Because you have guys like, look at Barnes, dude. Guy's undrafted. He's probably one of their best linebackers, even if Kirksey's healthy.
He's
Barnes,
better than Kirksey.
he's great.
Better than Kirksey.
Is an undrafted dude. So who in the Packers scouting department knew that guy was good enough to sign and had a chance? That guy should be the GM. Who's the guy who saw Bob Tonyan? Who's the guy who saw Tyler Lancaster? Who's the guy who saw all these undrafted, Alan Lazard? Like, come on. Who is that person in the Packers front office? Because that person should be the GM, not Brian Gutekunst.
Shannon Sullivan. Shannon Sullivan was undrafted too.
Do you want to talk here? Let me give you one quick thing about cast-offs. A couple of cast-offs that are like studs for the Packers. Alan Lazard, right? Yeah, he's injured now, but look how good he's been looking. He was in the Jaguars camp. The Jaguars cast him aside. He's great for the Packers. Bob Tonyan was actually drafted, or not drafted. Bob Tonyan was actually in camp with Detroit before they let him go. They're like, oh, this guy can't even play in the NFL. He's out of here. And the Packers picked him up off the scrap heap. And now he's their best tight end and is going to be a Pro Bowler this year. So
Shannon Sullivan was on the Eagles,
right,
as undrafted free agent. And they said, we don't need him. And the Packers picked him up, and he's our best, our second best corner on the team.
This is crazy. But I mean, you think about some of those teams, like perpetually bad teams, the Lions, the Jaguars. They thought these guys weren't good enough to be on their terrible teams. And they're like starters and key contributors for the Packers. Just so whoever is that person, or if it's multiple people, whatever, those people are awesome. They have an eye on talent. They should be the freaking GM of the Packers, and the Packers will win the Super Bowl every other year. So anyway, that's what we got. All right. Now it's time for some Bob Tonyan love. Because Robert Tonyan, we've been saying it since we first saw him on the field. Actually, since we first saw him in preseason, that guy flashed. He should get to play. He didn't get to play at first. Then he did in 2018. He didn't get to play in 17, but he got to play in 18 on the field and made that huge play in Seattle. We're like, wow, tight ends don't normally get deep like that for a 55-yard bomb or whatever and scored their first touchdown that way. That's awesome. Why can't he play? Well, finally, we're past the Jimmy Graham era. We're past the Jared Cook area, the Martellus Bennett era. We're past blah, blah, all these insert old crappy tight end era. We're done with all that. All right. We don't have Richie Rodgers, big booty, box him out, even though he's got great hands. What we have is a fast guy with great hands. Now, Bob Tonyan, I'm going to tell you some awesome things, right? 3 straight games with a touchdown this year.
Yep.
He has 13 receptions, 173 yards, 5 touchdowns on the season, even though he didn't play a lot in the first game. That's a 13.3 yard average per catch at tight end, which is a full yard more than Devontae Adams' yard per catch, just by the way, just to let you know. And one other thing is he's got a connection with Rodgers, which is great. What I wanted to say is another key thing that you can like about Bob Tonyan, it shows you why you should trust him, why he's awesome. He's talking during post-game press conferences, and he loves his mom. And if you're a professional football player and you talk about how much you love your mom, that's a good professional football player and a good man as well in his early 20s, mid-20s, 25. All right, I'm going to give you a couple of things now because I want to share this with you guys, right? I looked at some of these high-touted tight ends. Okay, Pro Bowl tight ends from last year, as well as TJ Hawkinson, whatever he was, top 8 pick, top 10 pick, whatever he was, high, whatever great tight end prospect in the draft. Okay. I don't understand how Bob Tonyan becomes the how he becomes undrafted out of Indiana State. Now, apparently at Indiana State, of course, not a big college, Missouri Valley Conference. Okay. He was playing receiver. He played quarterback before that, then played receiver at Missouri Valley State, but he was the size of the tight end. And he even said his coaches at Indiana State were going to ask him to do some things that he knew wouldn't translate necessarily into the NFL. He knew he'd be more of a tight end prospect in the NFL, kind of a pass catching tight end, but he knew he could play in the NFL. And his mom believed in him the whole time. And that was part of the reason why he knew he could play. Now, let's look at some of these other tight ends. Okay, we're going to look at some measurables for some of these amazing tight ends, right? I'm going to pull up some screen share. Let's check it out. All right, this is Travis Kelce, right? Travis Kelce, the best tight end in the world. Okay. Travis Kelce.
Sure. Robert Tonyan is the best tight end in the world.
He's going to be pretty soon. 4.61, 40-yard dash. And actually, I look back at George Kittle's college career, and there wasn't much to write home about there. He didn't have a lot of catches at Iowa and all that sort of stuff. So that's why he went down to the 5th round and all of a sudden became a stud. But anyway, Travis Kelce. Everyone thinking he's going to be a stud. Okay, out of Cincinnati and all this stuff. 4.61, 40-yard dash. Okay, he's got a 10-yard split at 161. All right, all that good stuff. What is he on the bench? 22 reps. Nice. Okay, yeah. Good measurables, 255, almost 6'5". All right, let's look at Austin Hooper, another Pro Bowl tight end. 4.72 40-yard dash. That's respectable for a tight end. Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right. I mean, that's average for well, it's good for a tight end. It's not great, but it's fine for a tight end because you don't need him to be super fast. 19 bench reps. All right, fine. Mark Andrews, another Pro Bowl tight end.
Don't talk about Mark Andrews.
He's a little faster, 4.67. He's got 17 reps on the bench, a little less, but he had a good college career at Oklahoma and drafted high, and he's a Pro Bowler. Zach Ertz, another Pro Bowler. He's a little slower, 4.76. Okay, 24, a little stronger, 24 bench reps, but 1.68 in the 10-yard split. And that's getting off the line, right? That's important. TJ Hawkinson, the biggest touted, man, this guy, we got to get him a top 10 pick. He had a 4.7 40-yard dash, 1.67, 6'4", 10-yard split, and only 17 reps on the bench. Okay, he's 250, kind of average size for a tight end. All right, all these guys were drafted relatively high up. They all became Pro Bowlers. Okay, except for Hawkinson, who was just a super high draft pick. Maybe he'd be a Pro Bowler one day. Who knows? Let's look at Bob Tonyan. 6'4", 250, 4.58. 40-yard dash, which is faster than Jamal Williams, by the way. And just a shade slower than Devontae Adams, by the way. 1.53 10-yard split, which is the best of any of those Pro Bowl tight ends that I just showed you. 16 bench reps. Okay, fine. A little bit light on that. And somehow the guy went undrafted. Undrafted. Now,
what were your stats in college?
Not great. Well, I mean, they were okay. Let's look here. Do they have them on here? Oh, yeah, okay. No, they don't have the college stats in here.
Okay,
It's Indiana State, man. I don't know. I didn't go back to Indiana State. All right, but so that's Bob Tonyan's measurables, right? Because that's what they look at. It was Indiana State Pro Day, which I'm sure not a ton of people went to, but somebody from the Packers went to it. Now, he grew up in Illinois, McHenry, Illinois. He went to that high school. So it wasn't a private high school and all this business and whatever like some of these guys. Undrafted in 17 on the Lions, like I said. Lions cast him aside. We're like, this guy is not good enough to make our team. Really? And he started out as a QB, moved to wide receiver, and then, with his size, just made sense to have him be a tight end. He's picked up the blocking, been on the Packers for the last few years. What I'm saying to you is his measurables, like his ability, is on par or better than all of these guys that are tops in the position right now. That's who the Packers have in this guy. And on top of that, I would argue that he probably has better hands than most of those Pro Bowl tight ends that I just showed you as well. His blocking has improved. It was okay to start. It's gotten better and better. And the Packers have another diamond in the rough here. And on top of all of it, he loves his mom. So what more do you want from this guy? He's going to be a Pro Bowler this year at tight end. The first Packers Pro Bowl tight end since Bubba Franks. And Bubba Franks wasn't even that good.
He was not good. He was average.
he was a Pro Bowl tight end, by the way. What do you think about all that? Bob Tonyan love, Bob Tonyan statistics and analysis. He's awesome, man.
Well, Eckes
awesome.
brings up
he just needed to be on the field. That was the thing. What does Eckes?
Eckes wants to know how long we got Tonyan locked up for. Guess what, Eckes? Nothing past this year. He's on a 1-year deal. And he was a restricted free agent last year, so this year he'll be an unrestricted free agent. Yay for us. Another problem, along with Aaron Jones and a couple other guys who they're going to have to bring back if they want to be good next year. But like I said, I don't want to talk about free agency at this point. I want to talk about this team for the rest of the year. I don't want to talk about free agency until after the year is done. I'm done with that crap.
I agree. There's a lot of people that want to get into that and speculate what the Packers' moves are going to be. Let's enjoy this season. Let's enjoy it. This is a crazy year.
I mean, if they sign somebody to an extension, we'll bring it up, right?
Right.
Yeah, but otherwise, it doesn't do us any good to speculate. Like, who cares? Let's just they're 4-0, man. We just went over the 3 and outs they had where they played great on defense. The defensive line is looking good. Mm-hmm. We don't need snacks. We got guys. We get Kenny Clark coming back. We're going to be good. We just need Za'Darius to just do his job. They need Preston Smith to show up. Apparently, are you ready for this?
We need Gary to come back. What's Gary? Has there been any word on Gary's situation? Because he was playing really well. As much as we hammered on Gary last year, and deservedly so, he was off to a great start. So that injury sucks. Go ahead.
Well, I was listening to the Blue 58 or whatever podcast today, and they said they were going over the numbers, and Za'Darius Smith's pressure rate this season on his attacks or whatever, pressures or quarterbacks, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It went from 16% last year to 8% this year so far. Preston Smith is at 1%. 1% of his quarterback hurries or attacks are actually getting hurry or pressure on the quarterback. 1%. The guy who actually has done the best for the Packers this season is Rashawn Gary, and second was Kenny Clark. So with those two guys out, that's why we're not getting as much pressure on the quarterback. And maybe that's also another reason why maybe Za'Darius is playing kind of outside of the defense to try to get some pressure because he knows it's not coming other places. But it leads to problems with the whole team as a whole on defense. So I would like to see more and more of the defensive linemen in the game. Kiki, Lancaster, Lowry, all those guys to shore up against the run. Play more base defense if possible with maybe Chance Sullivan and one inside linebacker instead of two. Because Summers sometimes takes a bad angle and misses tackles. But Barnes never misses tackles. But Summers is better in coverage. So it's almost like Summers needs to be the third down guy, have Barnes in there on first down and second down, that kind of stuff, and see what happens with instead of having just one guy. Like we always had Blake Martinez with the helmet every play all the time. Maybe we go to a split thing with Barnes doing first down, second down, and then Summers doing third down, and then maybe both of those guys could be on the field if they're in base defense. That's fine. But I think you have to use them for what they can do their best. And Barnes proved in the highlights of the show where he could blitz pretty dang good. He could fake like he's come back and then go right at the quarterback and, all that kind of stuff. So I'm happy with the defense. I don't know, what they're going to do exactly without, with the guys coming back or whatever. But I'm confident. I'm confident the defense can pull through as long as guys are doing what they're supposed to do. That's all it is. Really, that's all it is.
Right. I mean, if you play good, sound defense against most of these NFL teams, you will be successful because, maybe you don't get the turnovers, but like we saw when you're a defense that relies on turnovers, when you get to the playoffs, most of those teams aren't going to turn the ball over. And when you rely on turnovers to be successful defensively and not playing sound defense and playing your assignment, and then you're playing a really good team in the playoffs and then don't turn the ball over, you don't win. And that's what happens. So the guys playing the scheme right, playing their disciplines right, and being good at all that is what's most important. The splash plays are nice, and sometimes they can be game changing, but a lot of times when it matters, you don't get those game changing plays. That's just how it goes so often. But what you just said, I'm really excited about. Just think about that. If Barnes, an undrafted free agent, and Ty Summers, a 7th round pick from last year, are emerging to be basically kind of your answers at inside backer, which you've struggled to find, the guys you wanted forever. You had Martinez locking it down there for a number of years, but before that, between him and Bishop, it was rough, and all this, and you signed Kirksey. But if those two guys are going to emerge, like, that's a pretty bright future at very low cost for the team, because you can try to lock those guys into longer contracts before they get expensive, and you can hold them down for pretty cheap. So, undrafted guy in a 7th round pick, they're not going to cost you that much for the next several years. So that's nice. I don't know about what's going on with Gary. Maybe after the bye he's back. Kenny Clark should be. I'm expecting Clark and Devontae Adams to be back after the bye. They've been completely shut down for the last several weeks. Those were muscle injuries. I'm guessing they're going to be a full go against Tampa Bay when they come back. It'll be nice because I want to see Tom Brady get pressured again, because he sucks when he gets pressured. That's the only time Tom Brady is good, is when he can stand back there and have all day to do whatever the heck he wants. And that's what happened a lot in New England, because they're really good at holding. But if you got Kenny Clark getting pressure up the middle and you got some other guys bringing pressure on the outside, once Tom Brady gets pressure, he stinks. He stinks. So trying to throw GOAT around his name all the time drives me up a wall. Anyway. All right. Bob Tonyan Love, Honolulu, Bob Tonyan. I marked it down on Tuesday. It's going to happen this year. And I'm going to be super proud of that kid. He's an awesome guy. He's great for the team. Again, my man Lucas Patrick is awesome. What else you got for shout-outs, Ben, for the Packers going to the bye week? It's going to be a week.
I was going to talk about something you just said. Hang on. Dang it.
Go for it. I just had
you were talking about them. Like, would you try to rely on turnovers? The Packers only have 3 turnovers this year on defense. 3 turnovers. And they didn't get any in this last game. So they're not relying on turnovers this season.
That's not what I'm talking about. That was
no. I'm not yelling at you. What I'm saying.
No. But last year that was the thing. That's what they said, right? They were always relying on the turnovers that made them a good defense, and we saw what that equated to in the playoffs. Is what I was trying to say.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying is, the reason why I'm saying this is they're not getting turnovers this year at all. But what we talked about earlier with the 3 and outs, that is a turnover. Not only is it a turnover, it's getting the offense back on the field right away and chewing up clock, where when you're sitting there waiting for a turnover to happen, you're giving up plays, waiting for them to do something stupid and try to get a turnover. And all that whole time, our offense is sitting on the sidelines, not scoring points, which is dumb. And if you don't get the turnover, guess what? You give them points. Where if you do a sound defense, you do 3 and out, you get the ball back, with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, guess what? You're getting at least freaking field goal, probably. But lately, we've been getting touchdowns more often than not. So that's what I'm liking. 3 and outs. I don't know if I've seen this many 3 and outs, like in the last couple games here, like really good 3 and outs at the end of the game there against the Saints. And then this week against Atlanta, there's a bunch of 3 and outs. And it was all because the defense was playing as a unit. And that's what I want to see. I'd rather see a 3 out, with maybe a couple drives against us every week. The majority of them are 3 and outs, or 6, maybe have a couple more plays or whatever, but 3 and outs are the best. I'll take 3 and outs over turnovers any day of the week, period. Because the 3 and out is a turnover.
I love 3 and outs. 3 and outs are the greatest defensive plays of all time. It's better than a turnover, better than a sack, better than a pick, better than anything. 3 and out is awesome because you get you're energized, you're well rested, you don't expend a lot of energy on defense. The offense gets to come back in, and the other team's defense is probably tired. Like, yes, 3 and outs are fantastic. Actually, like one of the worst. I'm just gonna say it. One of the worst plays in football is a pick six for the defense. Because think about it, you're playing defense, you get an interception, you return it all the way to for a touchdown, you got to come right back and play defense again. That actually kind of sucks. I mean, the points are great, but it kind of sucks in a way. All right, what do we got? Eka says,
They're talking about
doesn't
Tom Brady again.
doesn't Brady like to do 3-step and pass the open guy? That's why any wide receiver is good there. Yeah, but I guess it's interesting because Bruce Arians' system isn't a 3-step most of the time. He's got he likes to throw it deeper down the field, which is why Tom Brady was such a weird match for that. Like, Tom Brady doesn't have the arm strength to do that consistently, and like Mike Evans is Mike. I didn't realize Godwin was as good as he is. He's really good. And then they had that other Johnson guy who was flashing against the Bears. But Mike Evans is not a good route runner. He's just a tall guy that usually kind of gets on his guy and you throw it up high and he tries to make plays. And he's got a bunch of touchdowns. I get it, but he's not that good of a.
He's a chippy guy. Like,
oh, yeah.
I was watching the game and he was like guys are getting under his skin and they were like kind of jamming him and stuff like that and sticking on him. And he was getting all fired up and he was getting some late pushes after where he should have been called for a penalty or something. And they weren't, by the way. But Ben, whatever.
I guess asks the question: if Tanyan is so good, why was he on your bench last weekend?
God dang it!
I told you to start him. Come on, man.
I told you I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
I know you don't want. That'll be another half hour.
Nick Chubb got hurt. Ekes, I should have beat you. You know what? You know what our game? Okay, you had to bring it up. Our fantasy football game this last week, Ekes. You know what it was? It was the Packers against the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game. That's what it was. I had 8 different ways I should have won that game against you, but because of stupidness and Ekes freaking luck, you won. Todd Gurley had 2 touchdowns. On one of them, he had like 5 Packers who should have tackled him. None of them did, and he scored a touchdown. Why? I don't know. It's dumb. Aaron Jones had 1 play in the whole second quarter. Beats me. Don't know why. I'm trying to figure it out. They threw 9 passes to frickin' Jamal Williams, who is Ekes for the Packers, just to make me look like crap and have my fantasy team. Should have been throwing the balls to Aaron Jones. Should have been Aaron Jones. He would have made more than 90 yards on those catches. He had 170 yards on those catches. But who am I to say? And then what did I do? I didn't know if DJ Chark was going to play. I thought he was out. So I didn't know. So just in case, I put Keenan Cole, who's his backup, as my starter. I didn't get to my phone in time. I got there at 12:01, Ekes, when my phone turned on. And sure enough, it was too late for me to put DJ Chark in the starting lineup. Cole got me 5 points. Chark got 27 points. I would have beat you just from that. I would have beat you if Tanyan would have started. I would have beat you if Nick Chubb wouldn't have got hurt in the first freaking quarter, and now he's out in freaking IR. I would have beat you on any one of those things. Ben. It's all because of Ekes freaking luck. Just like the NFC Championship game of the freaking Packers against the Seahawks. There were like 27 things that could have happened that would have changed. Just one of those 27 things, and the Packers would have won that game. But they did. I'm the Packers. Ekes is the freaking Seahawks. You suck, Ekes. Back to you.
You have one simple thing, though. You knew Devontae Adams and Allen Lazard were hurt. You had to believe Bob Tonyan was going to have a big game.
No, I didn't know.
Why? Now you know, right?
Did he have a big game against the Lions when Devontae got hurt?
Yeah, but this was...
No, Aaron Jones did. I was expecting Aaron Jones to be a focal point. And I have Aaron Jones. And I was like, I'm good. I also have Nick Chubb, who's really good. But he got hurt. Ekes only beat me by like 10 points. Nick Chubb usually scores me 20 points. He got me 5 because he got hurt in the first freaking quarter. There's so many things that happened that gave Ekes the win. It's bull crap. It's a bunch of crap. I don't want to get into it anymore. I'm done with this crap. Ekes, you're lucky. You're the Jamal Williams of real life. Jamal Williams is the Eckes of the Packers. It's ridiculous. He's screwing Aaron
Hey,
Jones. And touches just like you're screwed me over in freaking fantasy. I'm the Aaron Jones. I'm way better than you. You're freaking Jamal Williams. I don't get it.
I guess might be lucky, but
Sorry, I caught.
there's no one that's luckier in fantasy than Viking Mo.
Yeah.
And Viking Mo's Vikings stink. We know that, but somehow Viking Mo is the only undefeated team in HFF, which is, even though he scored like the ninth most points in the league out of 12 teams, he is undefeated, the only undefeated team. Ridiculous. Dad even lost. Sarah smacked down Dad pretty hard this week. Dad's lighting it up.
Russell Wilson didn't show up.
Well,
he
Sarah
decided to give Aaron Rodgers a chance at the MVP this year by not playing well. So, hey.
Sarah scored almost 200 points, so she lit him up.
No,
so anyway, that's the fantasy update. Fantasy update has been, if you have Robert Tonyan, you should start him, and you should also listen to your brother.
Can we talk about what happened this week? So Nick Chubb gets hurt.
Oh no!
I put a waiver claim in for his backup. Nico, who's 3-1, I'm 2-2. Nico gets him. How does Nico get him over me when he's got a better record than me? I don't know. But somehow Nico got him and I didn't get him.
I didn't set it up.
And Aaron Jones and the Packers are on a bye. So guess what? I didn't have a running back on my team. So I had to pick up Latavius Murray, who's not even a starter on his own dang team, who's going to be my only running back. I am screwed this week. And it's all Eckes' fault. Eckes' luck screwed me last week, and it's screwing me this week. Eckes, why, Eckes? Why? It's like the Packer draft all over again. Why? Back to you.
Actually, you know what? Nico is pretty damn lucky too. He scored the second least points in the league, and somehow he's 3-1 and leading our division, the Turds division. He's ahead of me with a 3-1 record, even though he scored the second least points in the league.
Nobody cares about HFF. We care about
Brennan is at 450. All right, Packers. All right.
Well, Brennan's going to get a win this week because he's playing me, I think, if I remember right.
I don't know. You got to pick it up. You're 2-2. You're doing better this year. That's pretty good for you. 500 is pretty good for you.
Yeah, but I should be 4-0.
Well, had you started by Tonyan, you'd be 3-1 right now. Just saying.
I know.
All right. Eckes, you are super lucky in many ways, and fantasy football leads the list for you. However, your team is still only 2-2, so you got to pick it up too, my friend. Rick, come back to HFF next year. If anybody else wants in, you know what? If I'll tell you this, I'd be up for it. We could do a Hafeman Bros Fantasy Football League if you're interested. Bernard, Nate, Bruce, some of these guys that we don't have room for, or others our league would get too massive. We could create a Hafeman Bros Fantasy Football League starting next year and incorporate some of our super fans into that league. What do you think about that, Ben? That'd be kind of fun.
That'd be good. I'll do it.
All right, let's do it. Nate,
I'll suck in two fantasy football leagues. What the hey?
Why not? Maybe you have better luck in that one.
Probably not. If I can't beat my sister and my dad, I sure as heck can't beat guys that actually pay attention to the Packers. Yikes! They actually care about football and pay attention. I can be in trouble.
I'll tell you, Balaz, who's been on here before as well, he loved my Mason Crosby kudos. He said Mason Crosby is his favorite player, which I think then Balaz is probably a soccer guy who also likes football, who really appreciates how good Mason is. But maybe I'm wrong. Balaz, comment. Let me know where you're at. What country are you in, bro? Because if you're picking us up in another country, we're international. Hafeman Bros, international. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you talked up Mason Crosby, then he missed the extra point. Good job.
Extra point. Yeah. Missing an extra point only costs you 1 point. Missing a field goal costs you 3 points. Has he missed a field goal?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to kickers.
As long as Eckes, As long as Eckes stays clear of Mason Crosby, he's going to make all the field goals. Eckes, leave Mason Crosby alone. You're the one that screwed him up in Detroit. Stay away from Mason Crosby for the rest of your life.
No.
Dang it. All right. That's all I got for you this week. I don't have any other thoughts. I don't have any other brain cells left. Just vodka and Robinade, guys. This is a good combo right here. Look at this. It's the best combo you can have. Nickel, that might be in your future, just so you know. Packers got the bye week. We'll be back on Tuesday to talk about the upcoming game against the Tampa Bay overstacked, overloaded team that's supposed to be the contender. Yet somehow they lost to the Bears, Ben. Somehow they lost to the Bears. Jimmy Graham and the Bears are now 4-1. And actually, the thing that derailed Tampa Bay is a couple of players that do concern me: Akeem Hicks and Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
They put pressure on Brady. Brady sucks under pressure. Rodgers is better than Brady under pressure, that's for sure. But those two guys are still really good, and I hope the Packers can lock them down when they play them. But that's way, 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 way later. Tampa Bay is coming up, and they're 3-2, and Brady's not that good. I'm looking for Ja to have a pick in that game. I'm looking for some pressure from Kiki and Kenny Clark being back. Right? What do you think, Ben?
Yep, that's what I'm looking for.
All right, more on Tuesday.
Hey, this is the worst weekend in sports. Packer bye week. It sucks.
You know what, though? It's a nice weather week here in Wisconsin. You can get some work done at your house. Mow your lawn, clean your gutters.
I live in Minnesota.
Paint your trim. Do whatever you got to do. Fall home maintenance weekend because the Packers are off this week. Take care of it. Get it done. And we'll be back on Tuesday. Thanks for checking out Hafeman Bros. Spread the word. Autocorrect sucks, Rick, but so do fat fingers when you're texting on a phone. See you guys next week for Hafeman Bros Talking Packers, Tuesday night, 7:30.